Well, we've been working away on Bootstrap here, and we've gone through several chapters of building individual web pages. But did anyone notice that there was something missing that was kind of obvious? Like, I don't know, a navigation bar? We built all these great pages for this website, but they have no way of linking to each other. So it's high time that we talked about navigation bars and how we could actually link together all these pages into a coherent website. So I am taking a look at file 04_02, which comes from your exercise files folder. Go ahead and copy this file into your Bootstrap folder and then open it on up in your browser, and you should see this. And so what you see here is I've got two navigation items going on here. Up at the very top left of the page above the logo, I have a bulleted list. Ultimately, of course, that should probably become some kind of horizontally oriented navigation for this website. And then underneath of the logo, I have another set of navigation. This is probably some kind of sub-navigation for this particular part of the website. And this might lead to other pages, or it could lead to other sections on the same page. So I need to style both of these things because they really don't look all that great just as they are. And so I would like to walk through that now. And so we've got two bars that we need to style. So I'm going to start by going to Sublime Text here. And I'm going to show you the markup that I've used to put these navigation bars in place. So starting here now around line 16 is the top navigation bar for the website. And I've marked this up with a nav with a class of row. So the nav tag, once again, one of the HTML5 semantic tags indicating that this is a major piece of navigation on the website. And here's an unordered list because ultimately it really doesn't matter what order these links are in. It matters to marketing, of course, but one page isn't related to the other. In the case of the breadcrumb, we needed to mark these up as an ordered list because it does very much matter the order that those links are in. And then further on down the page here, if we go down to line 92, this is in an aside here. This is our sub-navigation for the website. And notice that this is not in a navigation tag. Why would I not put this in a navigation tag? Because the spec for the nav tag indicates that this should go in place where there is major navigation for the website, where if this was missing, it would really be a kind of tragedy. You couldn't navigate the website. So my determination was that this was not major navigation for the website, so I did not use a nav tag in this particular place. If you feel this is major navigation for your website, by all means, you can certainly go ahead and use that nav tag. These semantic questions are not necessarily all that cut and dry. So that is why there's no nav tag here. So what we're going to do to start with, just to get a very basic nav bar, is we're going to add a class. And that class is right here on this UL. We'll add a class of nav. This is on line 93. And we'll also add that class of nav all the way up here on line 17, class of nav. And if you just go ahead and save your page and refresh it here in your browser, you'll see that already something has happened. And in fact, these are styled exactly the same way, sort of a block level kind of navigation. When you hover over it, you get this gray bar that is as wide as its containing element. That's very, very wide up here on the top and not as wide down here in the left column. So that is the most basic navigation bar, just adding that class of nav to the UL. Then we can continue to add classes here in order to get additional styling. So back here on line 17, I can add a class of nav-tabs. So this is going to orient things as tabs on the page. In order to make this work, to have tabs that really look like tabs, I need to also indicate what page I'm currently on. Well, I'm on the services page. So to the LI, I will add a class of active, indicating that this is where I am in the hierarchy. So if you go ahead and save this, and if you refresh this in your browser, you'll see that we now have a tab for the page that we're currently on, which is services. If this other navigation was working, which it's not hooked up to anything, so it doesn't, as we switch to other pages here on the site, then the active state should move, and that would change the shape of this tab to fit other places here on the page. You can add nav of tabs down here on line 93. You could add a nav-tabs here also. That, of course, is going to make your navigation go horizontally across the page. But if you add a nav-stacked, this is going to stack your navigation and keep it vertical, even though you're calling for tabs. So if you save this and you take a look at this inside of your browser, these are now considered to be tabs. And because I didn't specify which one was active, these don't really look all that tabby. So let me indicate which one is an active one. So class equals active here on this LI. And now if I refresh the page, then I do have a tab here which indicates the vaccinations is active, although I can navigate to these other pages. I don't think that tabs in a stacked format works really well, but it's supported and you can certainly set things up this way. What actually works better in this orientation is the pill format. Here again on line 93, if you change nav tabs to nav pills, Pills, and save and refresh your web page, you'll see that now we have these lovely pills over here on the left side of the screen, with the active page indicated by the big blue pill. And of course, you'll probably want to change the colors here at some point in time to make this work better with the color scheme for your website. Likewise, we can add a class of pills up here at the top of the page. So if you scroll all the way back on up here to the top on line 17, instead of nav tabs, we can change this to nav pills. Save that and refresh our web page. And now I have these lovely pills that go across the top of the page. And as my very final trick, you might want to stretch this navigation out to stretch the full width of the page. And that's completely possible now with Bootstrap 3. You're going to add to nav pills, nav-justified. And that will justify the navigation across its containing element, which in this case, it's 12 columns wide, so it's going to go all the way across. So there we go. Now we have navigation that stretches fully across the page. Designers might not be happy. It looks like the word home here isn't quite aligned with things, but when you mouse over it, you'll see that the left edge of that pill is in fact aligned with the left column there. So just with a handful of classes, including nav tabs, nav pills, nav justified, and nav stacked, so those 5 classes, in various combinations, we're able to change the look of these navigation bars here on our website in just a few clicks.